Good evening, everyone, and welcome. First, I want to offer a big thank you to Councilman Batari, Divney, Troy, and Valentine, Town Clerk Safraja, Highway Superintendent Dean, Town Justices Finning and Loftus, all of our department heads, police department leadership, and hardworking CSEA employees and Orangetown PBA officers for all your incredible contributions to our town and town government successes. I also want to welcome former town supervisors Tom Kleiner and Andy Stewart, and former receiver of taxes Bob Simon tonight. Thank you for attending. I also need to take a moment and thank my amazing wife Jennifer and my 3 almost 4 children, CJ, Scarlett, Declan, and our soon-to-be baby boy, arriving in a couple of weeks, for their support in everything I do. Well, to be fair, the baby boy hasn't really done anything yet, but I'm sure he'll be supportive when he shows up. And most importantly, thank you to all the residents, mostly watching at home, not here, as well, especially those watching at home. An engaged citizenry is a strong citizenry, and it's you who make Orangetown the incredible place it is to live, work, and raise a family. I would like to begin this evening by stating unequivocally that, thanks to a lot of hard work in the past 12 months, the state of the town of Orangetown is strong. With new policies in place and several big projects in the pipeline, our town is on pace to grow stronger year after year, so long as we continue to work with the right focus, pace, attention to detail, and vision for the big picture. When I was sworn into office last January, I was sent here with a mandate to apply the lessons I learned during my years in the military and private sector to local government, to streamline it, to make it more responsive and more transparent. I also came into office with the goal of growing Orangetown's economy, turning the tide on taxes, drawing the line against overdevelopment, and building our community and infrastructure. In the last 12 months, we've made significant strides in tackling these goals and are taking on an equally hefty load for 2019. Outside of these walls, we have worked to help this beautiful town grow and flourish into the even better place we know it can be, while still keeping true to what makes us special. It is essential that we keep working full speed to improve and adapt in order to survive and thrive despite the trends around us that threaten our ability to do so. Starting with our largest hamlet of Pearl River, which will be the first of our hamlets to be revitalized as we move methodically around the town. We have recently received the Downtown Revitalization and Transit-Oriented Development Study commissioned in spring of 2018. The study gave us some excellent information and recommendations. We've been reviewing its findings and will be presenting a plan on how to move forward in the coming months. As residents continue to move away from cash and towards their smartphones, the town should as well. We've entered into an agreement with Park Mobile to offer residents and visitors the ability to pay meters in downtown Pearl River from their phones, with the rates remaining the same and meters still accepting quarters. As we look to increase economic activity and relieve congestion in downtown Pearl River, assessing the parking situation is an obvious next step to address. In the coming weeks, we'll be putting forward a series of changes to the municipal lots and parking permits in the downtown in order to allow for higher turnover in front of commercial locations and installing better signage to direct traffic towards longer-term spots in our parking lots. In an effort to enhance the beauty of Orangetown, we have revamped the town's Adopt-A-Spot program, where local volunteer professionals improve and maintain key gateway parcels in town. Appropriately, the very first spot chosen for enhancements as part of the program was Bronsdorf Park, centralized in the heart of Pearl River next to the train station. We will continue to expand this program in the coming year throughout the town, with a roster of spots available for adoption by willing companies. We have been and will continue to be conscious of our environment. At the beginning of my term, we created an Orangetown Air Quality Review Committee to monitor local air quality. Reinforcing our commitment to sustainability and the environment, the town is installing 8 electric vehicle charging ports, construction of which was partially paid for with funding through a New York State Department of Environmental Conservation rebate and leftover NYSERDA funds. These new stations are located in downtown Pearl River and downtown Spark Hill, in easy and convenient locations with access to major roadways. That NYSERDA funding was available due to remaining well under budget in our LED streetlight conversion project, which has also allowed us to add additional lighting on the dark northern Route 303 corridor and Clawson Mountain Road, which should be activated shortly. This LED lighting is both green and saves our town money on utility costs. We've also focused on smaller, hyper-local issues that have been in limbo, often for decades. In Palisades, residents have long complained about safety issues along the Route 9W corridor in their hamlet, and for good reason. In early December, after months of intense negotiations with the state DOT, we were able to announce the lowering of the speed limit on Route 9W in Palisades from 45 to 40 miles per hour. While the ultimate goal is to see a full reduction to 35 miles per hour, this is a good first step in the right direction after years of inaction. Likewise, the intersection of Main Street, a county road, with Oak Tree Road and Tapan has always been a frightening corner. Though the county continued to prevent an all-way stop, Superintendent Dean and I were able to get approval to add a radar speed limit sign on the approach to Tappan from New Jersey in order to slow cars down, and to realign the crosswalk and stop line on Oak Tree Road to give a better view to drivers at the corner, thus increasing safety for both pedestrians and drivers. We can all agree that keeping our children safe is always a top priority. In August, we were able to negotiate with the Pearl River and South Orangetown school districts to have a full-time school resource police officer in each of our high schools for the first time in recent memory, with the school districts paying half the tab. This effort ensures that we can keep our kids safe from the threats of violence and the continuing opioid epidemic. Some of the biggest challenges we faced coming into office were structural, both literally and figuratively. Unlike neighboring towns, Orangetown has never had a community center, a place for seniors and kids alike to meet, enjoy some recreation and more, and to house our Parks and Recreation Department, currently in a small and aging former home. Though for years people have talked about changing that, our board is actually doing so. Having issued an RFP for design and engineering in the early fall, we will be moving full speed ahead with the planned community center on part of the RPC property, with the goal of awarding the design contract later this month and pushing for a groundbreaking in the summer of this year. The other half of this town hall building is essentially falling apart. The cost of it repairing it running into the millions, and the cost of upgrading it equal to that of replacing it. The town board and I have approved initial concept plans and will be issuing a full design and engineering RFP to replace it with a modern structure that will allow us to bring our building department into the main town hall and for us to get rid of the aging Greenbush Road building. On the figurative side, I discovered last January when I took office that our various department heads hadn't actually sat down for a formal all-hands-on-deck meeting since early 2016. One of my first orders of business was instituting bi-weekly department head meetings to guarantee a steady flow of information between our various departments, which has yielded increased communications and some savings from duplicated processes, while increasing our ability to implement important modernization efforts in the town. In 2017, Orangetown brought in approximately $75,000 in revenue from film permits. In order to stabilize things, just before I took office, the town board designated the police department to oversee the process. Then, with the police department having done a great job of getting things flowing in the right direction, in October we hired a new director of economic development and tourism. Utilizing new tools that we as a board passed when we revised our filming code over the summer, he has streamlined our film permitting process and is actively working to attract new productions, as well as working on ways to improve our business climate and bring in tourism dollars. When it comes to filming in Orangetown, every dollar made in film permitting and in renting town properties to film companies is a dollar that the town does not need to make in taxes. In 2018, that number jumped up to over $370,000. That's not a typo. We were able to increase revenue through film permits by almost $300,000, and that was without any marketing or outreach, only processing incoming requests efficiently by our police department. Our buildings department has also seen a significant growth in the number of applications it receives, with our economy truly booming here in Orangetown. That's why we've hired an additional building inspector to increase our ability to process higher volumes of building applications and better enforce the town code. With all of this, by applying forward thinking and right-sizing our workforce, by eliminating vacant positions without any layoffs, I was able to propose, and the town board was able to approve, a budget that actually cut our tax levy for the 2019 year. Beyond all of that, here's a rundown of some additional projects we've been able to tackle in the last 12 months. We've successfully lobbied for and received legislation from New York State which placed a limit on the shift of the tax burden from commercial to residential properties and vice versa, which saved our homeowners money on their tax bill this year. In my direction, we went out competitively to new banks to get better rates on your money, because the town's money is in the end your money. And those efforts resulted in over $700,000 per year in new interest income with no trade-offs in services. Plus, now our money is mostly with local banks instead of those big national ones. We've hired and promoted a number of highly qualified new department heads. We've hired a public health engineer to focus on keeping our town's environment clean in a variety of ways. To increase transparency and access to residents, we have started the practice of live streaming all town board meetings on YouTube, in addition to broadcasting them on cable access, recordings of which are available on our website. We've brought the fight for Orangetown's commuters directly to the MTA, with a consistently inconsistent service on the train line and the MTA's lack of willingness to even give discounts offered to other New Jersey Transit customers to our riders as compensation. I've been leading the charge to get us the right quality of transit to orient around in Pearl River. We've started the practice of publicizing new business openings with ribbon cuttings and a featured business resident listing on our website to encourage success and continued drive towards supporting our local businesses. We've encouraged the growth and success of properties like the HNA Palisades Conference Center by working with them and their neighbors in the community to adapt our code and zoning in order to encourage their positive tax-paying uses in their town. We've strengthened and improved the fairness of our previously powerless and overly aggressive noise ordinance, simultaneously putting an end to early morning construction and landscaping, waking up residents, while also giving folks in the business community a fair standard by which to be judged against when it comes to nuisance sounds. Finally, as part of my overall strategy here in office since day one, we have worked to increase levels of efficiency and productivity through digitization and automation efforts, with the goal of direct savings to Orangetown's taxpayers, along with increased convenience and a higher standard of service. This includes an online application for FOIL requests, Freedom of Information Law, town code violation reports, and air quality reporting, all of which have seen substantial use since their launch. We've made significant progress internally towards this goal, and will be aggressively expanding these efforts in the coming months. I'd like to finish this evening the same way I began, by saying thank you. Thank you to Orangetown's fine police department for all that you do day in and day out to keep us safe. Thank you to Orangetown's highway department. Your hard work every day keeps our roads clean and clear regardless of what Mother Nature has to say. Thank you to our sewer workers who do a thankless and often unpleasant job. Thank you to each and every one of our CSCA employees in every department. Your hard work on behalf of the residents of Orangetown is a true testament to public service. Thank you to our volunteer fire departments and ambulance corps who provide such a vital service out of a sheer sense of duty to our community. And of course, a very big thank you to the residents of Orangetown. It is an honor to serve our community as town supervisor. My team and I are very excited for what lies ahead this year, and we will continue to work tirelessly so Orangetown is even stronger in 2020. Thank you.